Welcome back to the artist always known as Alejandro, and Happy New Year. That's right, it is 2026 now as of the posting of this video. So hopefully your New Year's resolutions include doing a lot more drawing and creating, right? That's what I'm planning to do. Those are some of my goals. Obviously, I want to bring more videos to you. And we're going to continue with the Mamacitas in outer space that I finished with Zantique. Now we're drawing Pan-Lalla. I drew her in pencil first, but we can still go over it with some of the tools we've learned, the techniques. I'll just trace over it and follow me. I have my pencil setting and set to blue. I figure it's cool because Pan-Lalla's skin is blue. So just starting with that circle, playing around with it. Just like me, I like to do the back and forth thing. It just gives me a little feel. Like if you're on paper too, you get just a feel, the pressure of the pencil towards the paper, and in this case, the stylus to the pad. And then breaking those little sections down. And I just wanted some kind of dynamic pose, like she's rock climbing, looking out into the distance to see if there's any things going on. Yeah, just breaking this into little sections, as you can see. The breaking into section thing, that's been working for me. Hopefully for you. I mean, if not, hey, find your own method. I saw one artist video and he said, sometimes you just gotta play around and see what techniques work best for you. You may spend too much time watching drawing videos instead of actually drawing. That's a good point. But as you can see, for me, I still work better from the get-go on pencil to paper. It just feels right to me. But I don't have, well, I have the desire to set it up where I show you me drawing on paper with pencil. I've shown it before, but it's very tedious. This is so much easier, right? Maybe in the future I'll give you some of that. It's just a lot, man. But anyway, I hope your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day have been good so far. I'm breaking Pan-Lalla into those little parts. There's my little waistline. It's a good basis to wear. I like to say the crotch area meets. And then breaking it down. And you know what? It's just something you do after a while. I mean, you get kind of a feel how far the legs go proportion wise. You could try and map it out. You could try and measure it out, but if you do this after a while, you kind of get an idea. I still have to work on my head, neck, and shoulder area, especially with female characters. Alright, so we've got a little basis, we've faded down the line, we're going to another vector layer above it, and now I'm using my round mixing brush. I think I'd have it at a 7 or 6. And starting to go over, of course it's in black, and going over what I've just done and mapping out her look. She does have pointy ears. Just kind of getting an idea. Your skull will go a little bit back. Still trying to get it. Takes a few tries. I have to reposition and get closer. It helps. But while I'm doing that, let's get that down there. Sometimes the stylist just does not want to cooperate. She's holding onto the side of a mountain. So have those muscles work. She's going to be working those muscles there. So I don't have another name for them yet. Maybe you can find a name for me to give these women instead of the Mamacitas in outer space. Bit silly. But Pan-Lalla is a blue-skinned gal. She's kind of the martial artist of the group. You can see in the dark too. I did a different look for her later on, but I'm sticking with this original. I like this original thing. She looks a little more alien, especially with her hairdo. As you can see in the thumbnail, I'm just trying to work a little section at a time. And you know, when the female body's upper torso reaches that midriff area, it's very strange because it gets bigger at the hips. Now, most male characters, they're top heavy and it gets more slender as you get down to the waist. So with women, it starts off a little small and then it grows down towards the hip area, but you got to figure out where it's. And I guess, that's with anything. Keep drawing and looking at figures. You could cheat and trace over a photo or something like that. I mean, I've done it, and it's very interesting practice. I was playing around with a drawing of a female character just so I was trying to figure out some things with colors, but I just, wasn't working. But it was good to get a feel of drawing someone's face, seeing how their eyes line up, their nose, their lips, the neck, and see how everything's lining up. I just traced over it. I didn't really do the circle thing. Should, right? Just getting. Now she does have these almost like cat eyes. I figure that's a nice alien little added bonus to give to her. Since she's got the pointy ears, let's do that. And of course she's going to have like a light blue skin color. There we go. Just kind of mapping it out. She's looking into the distance. It's been a while since I did the Mamacitas. I was on a Christmas holiday kick with some of those characters. You can still check out those videos. They're up there. See how I drew my Meow Meow and my Misty Christmas drawings in the Grinch. Or go way back into November when I drew Zantique, her teammate. There's one more Mamacita, and that'll be the next video. We're concentrating on Pan-Lalla. Just adding some little ear stuff. Wide looks pretty good. Things look proportionate. Just taking it in. All right, now let's get rid of that pencil layer and now concentrate on just the ink layer. And now we're going to add her clothes. Yeah, I had this kind of open vest idea with her when I first drew her. And I thought it was kind of cool and sexy at the same time. Like this vest she has. Like, who would wear something like that? Pan-Lalla, man. Pan-Lalla. And then she has these little collar pieces. Why not? Kind of almost Han Solo-esque, right? Except he had a shirt on. She does not. She's allowed to do that. She's a Mamacita. But how does this vest hold in there? Magic. Maybe it's a one piece that she has on and the belt is there to break things up. Yeah, that's the ticket. There you go. Of course, you can erase your lines. Make sure this is a vector layer, as always. boot. It's kind of Batman-esque. I like that kind of. Start with the arch and then bring it down. And that theme follows into her little wrist gauntlets there. Pretty simple design, but effective. I think it works with her. And yes, I'm erasing these lines while... Usually I erase them behind the scenes, right? But here I decided to show them. We're moving fast. Do any of you do New Year's resolutions? Do you set New Year's goals? I always like to. I do keep a journal. In a notebook. Well, in the notebook I have my goals. In the journal I do in the Word as a Word doc. I used to do the journal by hand, but then sometimes I forget something like, oh no, how am I going to fit this in there? I've reached the end of the page. So at least with a Word doc, I could always go back and move stuff around. But I do keep a weekly goal for the whole year notebook. And what's one of the first goals for this year? Posting this video, of course. There we go. Well, I would love to be a full-time creative, guys. What say you? Let's make it happen. Or let it happen. You know, when you're a flow, you know what that's like, a creative flow. You are in it, and it's like time seems to go by so quickly. Now I made another layer, a vector layer for her hair. It is a funny idea. I think it came up with her look like right away. I don't know, when did I create her? Late 80s, early 90s maybe? Like, you know, my main character Temper is more humanoid looking. She's a blonde, and then said, well, if Mamacitas in outer space, we got to have some alien girls. So, well, let's see. I give her the pointy ears, but what else? This funky hairdo. I like it. But yeah, I'd love to be a full-time creative. I am working on the other stuff. I'm actually working on the Misty story I was telling you, and there's still the Fight to Save the Universe thing is in there. It's coming. This year, I'm going to release videos of the story and I'm going to do my darndest to keep up with it. So you'll get stories every week or so, or sections of a story. It might be better that way for me, because drawing takes time. I'll need a few in the pocket before I actually start posting. Same thing if you do a podcast. Always make sure you have a few episodes in the pocket before you start posting them. If you want, I did have a podcast called The Artist Matters, where I interviewed artists of all kinds. You can check it out. It's still on iTunes. I did maybe 2 years worth of stuff. It got to be hard. It got hard to be keeping up with it. My first year I did it weekly. That was hard. Very difficult having to get people to be interviewed all the time and then interviewing them over the internet. Sometimes the connections weren't great. Oy. Oh, I'm thickening the lines? Oh no, I'm straightening the lines. I didn't realize I left this in here. Yes, I'm simplifying the lines, simplifying things, and erasing things. If you want, check it out. It's still out there. The Artist Matters. It's a few episodes. I don't know. I was thinking of doing a new podcast this year on top of everything else. But I think I would talk about movies and TV, stuff like that. I love that stuff. I love movies. I love TV shows. Be great if something like that happened with these. So with the cliff, I decided to do it in pencil. Of course, it's another layer. I think I made it just a raster layer. Just a simple cliff. She's hanging on and looking out into the distance like, oh, I got to go over there, huh? All right. Now, what is? I drew a sword. It's hanging off her hip. You can see that's something new. And why not start here? We're going to start where she's gripping onto the rock. Add some shading lines. We're back to a round mixing brush. I think I have it at a 4. Not happy with what I did there. Make sure it's a vector layer. Yeah, see, I quickly found out. Yep, I got to make it a vector layer. I know it's so different when I'm shading or doing that kind of shading with an actual artist pen or a pencil. I can really confidently color that area completely black. But when I'm doing it digitally, I don't know, it just seems weird. Like I have to have stuff broken up. And yeah, you may want to think of your light source, but yeah, it does help. Light source is a really challenging one. I just want to make it look cool, right? And for our purposes, that's what we're doing. Just adding those little hints of muscle and shoulder blade shadow. I can give you neck. A little shading on the lips. And it's funny, when you see it up close like this, it looks terrible. Maybe thickening her eyebrows a little bit. I keep that little stuff there and add the eyelashes. And now I'm adding this shade there. And start doing these lapels on the cup. It's a pretty rad outfit. So I really hope you have some good creative goals this year. I mean, if you're just watching for fun, thanks for joining. But, pick up a pen, pencil, marker. Join along. I'm confident you can keep up with me. The beauty of this is if you're not getting something, just pause and go back. But I'm hoping that I've done enough of these, you kind of get the idea. Try to keep it simple. Yeah, I haven't drawn since I was a wee lad, but you can do it. Yeah, I like these lines going this way, because then the lines on her boobs go the opposite way, so it kind of accentuates things. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of those. They're just annoying to me. It's like I know I can erase them later, and I could probably pause the video or stop the video and get rid of them while you're not watching, but I want like a complete picture here. It's kind of hard because the vest is, some of her ab muscle is going to be seen through it. So I'm like, let me take a break. Or not. There we go. Just a little taste. And add a little bit more there. Kind of accentuate things. So it's just not this flat looking vest. There's just all this space here. Just adding a little more accents with the line work. Just kind of adding stuff here too. There you go. Do it till it can't be done. So one of my friends Rodini said on the podcast when I interviewed him. And he's a graphic designer. Successful one too. I hope your holidays were good. I'm alright. Made it through. We did some last minute shopping. I found some gems out there. I didn't buy myself any artist supplies, not yet. I really don't think I got anything for myself this year. That's okay. It's a new year. Time to get things moving creatively. As always, you can like and subscribe and check out more of my videos. I'd much appreciate it. Join along and have a fun time creating. She was fun to draw. I liked the pose. Like sometimes I do some of these poses and they're kind of The thing you got to remember, as I've mentioned in other videos, most of these characters were just an idea, and then I drew it, and there they were. But who are they? What makes them tick? Do they have any special abilities? If she's an alien, okay, what does that mean? Why does she have blue skin? Why does she have her hair that way? What are her, martial art abilities? Is she really a badass? Does she have a sense of humor? Is she very serious? Things you got to think of. It kind of informs the character. And even based on the look you created for them. All right, why do they dress this way? If they're fighting bad guys, they got to be a little more tough and reserved and know what they're trying to do. You say squat, mama do. I don't know what that means. A guy said that once. Place I worked at in a factory. You say squat, mama do. But it's up. Little silly sayings. I know a guy in the Air Force that said, ain't no thing on the okie dough yoke. What does that mean? I have no idea. But it was catchy, and I remember it. Ain't no thing on the okie dough yoke. I remember I worked at Burger King, and a customer came in and asked me, are you humming and a jummin'? I'm like, what? Are you humming and a jummin'? I have no idea. And he says, homeboy know what I mean. Homeboy know what I mean. Like, no, I don't, but okay. Does anybody out there know what humming and a jumping means? Love to know. But anyhow, so her boots. As you notice, I'm doing more of the outer areas. Now with this boot, I'm going to do this because it's giving you kind of an illusion of, I wouldn't say movement, but it just gives you a little more depth. But now on the other side, I am not going to go to the edge. Let's erase. Yes, get rid of those little hairs. They look like hairs. Sticking out. You don't want that. Let's flip it. So for this side, see, I'm making them closer to the tip there. Because this gives you a little more dynamic. Trust me. Now, yeah, her outfit is a little more on the dark side. It's going to be kind of like I guess if it was in a movie, it almost be like black leather. I'm just figuring where the light hits it, but I don't want it to be, it's got to be a little more flexible because she's a martial artist and she's got to be able to move in this. But you get the idea. It's kind of like a leather-looking material. But it needs to be darker. So as I'm pulling back, like, okay, we could add a little more. So you can go over your lines and add a few more layers. And sometimes it helps if you get closer. That's a weird thing to be saying as I'm on her private area. But we're in this together. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, add a little more. So you'll see a little more of what I'm talking about, the black. And eventually I will color this. What I would like to do when I reach a year doing these drawings, I would like to color what I've already done. Unless it's something I've already colored. I may make some special videos once just to color. Look how nice I put it for you. 2026, huh? Wow. That came up fast. I was looking at my journal and I can't believe I started these videos back in March. What? I thought I started them later than that. But I started them in March. Holy moly. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, there we go. But you've seen when I've done the other videos, it's nice to have those details on a separate layer so when you do color, you can turn off the detail layer and then just fill it in. And there's probably a better way to do it, but I don't know it yet. I'll have to watch some videos on coloring. Maybe I'll learn. Maybe I'll learn. I'm sure I'll learn something. Here I was trying to figure out her abs, trying to get something going on there. You know, those little details in the little shading in the abs. Wanted to change that midriff, but fill in her eyes. I'm gonna do that a separate layer. There we go. Just checking over. Let's do the new sword. We're gonna add some shade to that. Make sure you get close. And it's great if you could tilt it too. If you had a piece of paper, you just turn the paper, but here you have to rotate the canvas. It's a smart feature. You gotta have it, or else it makes it very challenging to be neat. Looking good, Pan-Lalla, looking good. All right. So what are we doing here? We are going to... I'm picking the chalk brush and adding these little accents to the side of this cliff to shrink it down a little bit. There you go, that's a little shade and just kind of break it up, you know, think of a rocky texture and just kind of make those rocky lines. I mean, obviously I could do more. I could do a lot more with the rock, but I'm just keeping it simple for our purposes here. Hopefully in 2026 most things will get fixed, right? That's my motto. But my mantra word is success. Looking for that, keeping that a theme. I'll become very successful in my creative endeavors. Nice over a wide shot of her. I figured I would add, moving the layer around. There you go. I wanted to add something else. Like I said, do it till it can't be done. Yeah, let's add some clouds, but we're just going to do it like colorful clouds, gray clouds. There we go. I'm not going to color the background and make the clouds white. You know, it could be a planet where there are dark clouds like this. She is in outer space. And this will be like the finishing touch. So there she is, Pan-Lalla, hanging on. Lots of fun drawing her. I'm glad you joined me. I hope your drawing came out great too. You could always share it with me. I'd appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year again. May 2026 be a great year for all of you. Creatively, mentally, spiritually, professionally. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you on the next video with another Mamacita. And thanks for checking me out. Until the next time, keep creating.